Okay. Sorry for the delay, everyone. I forgot that I had an OBS issue that I hadn't resolved since last stream. And then was suddenly reminded that I had an OBS issue that I haven't necessarily resolved. But it is fixed. It is fixed. Oh man, the table saw is looking a little dark. Huh. I might have to get some more light. But that's somewhat known issue. Oh well, whatever. But hey, my name is Sugi Yamagawa, and today on VTubing My Slow Life Hobbies in My 30s, we're going to be spending some time at the table saw. We're going to be continuing with the flip tool cart tool stand that is actually not going to flip, but if I need it to flip later down the road, I would like to have that option. So let me grab one of our first work pieces here. So, got myself a piece of plywood here, and so we're actually not going to be using the dado stack at the beginning. We're gonna do stuff that I feel safer doing before we get into the dado stack fun times. So these are gonna. So the piece you see here, this is going to be the side panel for the project. So I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna be making two of these bad boys. So I'm gonna want to make the center. So we're gonna start off with the dowel hole. It's gonna get there's gonna be a hole roughly around in here for a dowel, 3/4 dowel. That 3/4 dowel is going to basically be a rod that's going to allow the tabletop to flip. So I want that to be an 11 7/8 from my side. So that looks pretty good. Let me make sure it's even. Oh, Beba. Oh, wow, that's really close. That's really close. That's pretty in that ballpark. So that's how far I want it to be in. And then I want it to cut. Then I want my center hole to be 1 1/8. 1 1/8? 1 1/8. So we're gonna do 1 1/8. So we'll pull this out. And then we have ourselves a little cross here, which for this period of time, let me get that workpiece off there. I think I can bring you guys in a little bit more. Yeah, there we go. We're going to be a little bit more into it. But yeah. So, there's our hole. And I want to do a 3/4 inch hole. So, to make that 3/4 inch hole, we're going to go into the Fastener bit set. And it's 3/4. There you are. Oh my gosh. Forgot how small of a boy 3/4 was. Now, I have my dowel rod. Here's my dowel rod. I'm just gonna. Oh. I thought I grabbed a. Did I peel the sticker? I peeled this. Ooh. That's exciting. That's 3/8, half, 5/8, 3/4. So my Fastener bit is quite a bit bigger. And not like little bit, but big. So, and this is the dowel rod that I need to fit in. Ah, Sushin 373. Hey, how you doing? But yeah, I know you've also went by other names. Okay, so it looks like I've got a need for a 7/8. Ooh, yeah. Okay, so 7/8. 7/8 is what I want. Don't wander away. Thank you. Go. So that will match my dowel rod. I guess I picked up a bit larger of a dowel rod. Come on down. So that's 1 and 2. Fastener bit off to the side. Corded drill comes out to say hello. So, let's see here. Let's go ahead and get you plugged in. Now, granted, I probably shouldn't have plugged it in before. Okay, fine. I'm doing this live. I gotta do the safety. So, don't have power on your tools not until you have your bit in your chuck, because if you don't, you're gonna have you could potentially have a bad time if you accidentally pull the trigger and the spinning part goes spin when you have hands on it. You could potentially have a bad day. So we are big fans of safety here. So get that nice and tight. Now with our bit, doing pretty good. Actually, well, so today's actually been a particularly good day. For one, I called in from work and had the day off. And went to Costco. Had a really good time at Costco. And then I also went to what is essentially a new store that I haven't been to. It's a store called Metal Supermarkets. So, in my ever-growing sequence of hobbies acquisition, I am looking at picking up blacksmithing. So, step numero uno in blacksmithing is getting a forge. So I got the material for a forge today. So I had material for that, and that will actually be a project on stream probably mid-January. Because I have one idea for one project, and then the forge project, and then maybe a blacksmithing project. Which, man, January is already looking pretty full of projects. But yeah, it's been a pretty good day. And then I also did my grocery shopping for tomorrow's stream, so that way I would have ingredients for cooking. So I've been having a really nice lazy day, and I hope you're having a good day too. Well, it's not been super lazy. I mean, I've gotten stuff done. I've gotten stuff done that needed to get done. So, one of the fun tricks with the Fastener bit is it has a magic diamond point. So I am going to try to eyeball that, and then I'm going to press down. And that's all I'm going to do. And I'm going to see for my magic point, which it looks like it came very far off. So I'm going to try once again. Aim, press down. Getting a little bit closer. Looks like I'm rotating when I raise up. Okay. But it's always better to do this and slowly come up to your cross point, which you don't want to go too aggressive and then, well, oh no, I made a hole and now I'm committed. So let's see. I think that's pretty close to perfect. That's pretty close to perfect. So with that, let's commit to the bit. Woo! Now, having just done that, I'm gonna eventually make my life a lot easier, and that is with a drill press, which I've ordered. I've ordered the drill press. I now gotta wait for it. But yeah, there we go. That's gonna be our first hole. And howdy all to you, Captain Cocoa Puffs. I hope you're having a good day. I'm having a good day. I went to Costco today, so I had a trip to Costco tier day. Granted, I didn't find anything like super neat at Costco. I just got like the general things I generally get when I go to Costco. So that work piece gets set to the side, and we're gonna grab the next work piece. Hey, let's go. What kind of drill press did you get? So I wanted something. My vision for the drill press was to get what I call a 20-year drill press. Something I can buy and I can use for the next 20 years I have envisioned for myself for the hobby. And I went with a Grizzly 14-inch variable speed drill press, which one of the really nice features about this drill press was you can electronically control the speeds, because traditionally drill presses will have a belt and pulley system to them. So you'll have to actually crack open the top of the thing and actually change belts in order to get different speeds. Having electronic controls is going to be real nice, which I need to grab a glove. Come over here, you. Because wood is going to call for different speeds, typically higher speeds than 1/8. Because this is 1/8 by 2-inch L bracket material, which this is material I'm going to be using for the forge. Is it a split pulley or is it a VFD? I think it's a VFD. Because it's kind of like the thing with Grizzly. Grizzly's kind of like a more top shelf brand. But from what I understand, Grizzly has really good customer support, which is always nice when you're throwing some money. Wood speeds are expensive. Yeah, there's a very big gap between wood speeds and steel speeds. So since I am getting steel material for blacksmithing, it's good to have something that has a nice variety of speeds, and I can also change between them. Yeah, and I've just heard generally good things about Grizzly, so and this is the first Grizzly product I'm getting from them, and because I've also had my eyes on their jointer products, and if the drill press impresses me enough, then I might consider going with Grizzly for my planer. Planer? No, not planer. Jointer. I don't have a jointer. I have a planer. I have the DeWalt. I have the DeWalt planer that every other YouTuber has. But I don't have I don't have the helix heads on it. I just have straight blades. My buddy had a Grizzly lathe that was converted to CNC. It was honestly pretty solid for what it was. Ooh, that's stuff I like to hear. That's stuff I really like to hear. So, in the interest of making sure I get my holes reasonably lined up, I'm going to use my piece that I just drilled my hole in as a template for my next hole. So this way, when I put all this stuff together, all my holes are both these holes are going to be in the same spot. But yeah, I was also looking at one of Jet's products, but because one of my my first tip: remove all the safety covers that you can. Grizzly goes hell overboard on their shields. Okay, good to know. Because one of my requirements was I want something benchtop. Because if it's benchtop, I can throw it on the thing I can make, and then put casters underneath of it, and then I can move it around my shop. Everything in my shop essentially needs to move. I really don't. My tool room lathe is a jet. Ah, good to hear. Because I was really impressed. Because jets had... It was technically better in features, but it was also like $200 more than what I was willing to spend. Because, like, the money I'm spending on this Grizzly drill press is twice... Well, yeah, it's about around twice as much as I paid for the miter saw, which, if I get as much use out of this drill press as I intend to, will easily pay for itself. Whereas the jet looks like really good stuff, probably is really good stuff. It's just a hair bit outside my budget, because one of the things I'm looking forward to going into the next year is I'm hoping to have a much more healthy tool budget, since I am no longer throwing like tons of money at my house anymore. Grizzly's great for getting started, higher quality than Harbor Freight, and a lot cheaper than big names. Ah, I honestly thought Grizzly was like kind of a big name, because usually when I see like big name shops, I usually see a lot of Grizzly. Granted, I don't want to throw shade at Grizzly, but Lowe's sells them. But also Lowe's sells Jet too. Granted, you know what? That's probably a good thing that I don't actually know like what the actual like top line brands are, because then I might want them, and then I might spend too much money. Because I have a healthy budget, but not like a really healthy budget. Okay. So that's more than enough to get my hole started. So we'll slide you off to the side, brush you off, come back in, line you up. And that's a hole through. Yay! And we can now disengage power from the drill. Which this is actually a type of drilling that I'm... On one hand, I would like to do this type of drilling with a drill press, but these workpieces are too big for a drill press work table to support. So my dreams are very short-lived, and apparently I had a drill chuck, but I have since lost it. Have a good rest of the stream. I'm going to go eat dinner. Have a good New Year's. Aw, thank you. Thanks for stopping by. It's been a pretty good end of year season, other than the fact I have somehow lost my key chuck. Oh, there we go. It was under a glove. Okay. I know where it is, and that's the main thing. I know where it is. That's what I really think. I really need to know where my sanity is, because it's way too easy to lose track of. Okay. So, those are going to be the holes for the dowel rod that the top's going to flip. Next up is we got to make brackets. Well, we got not necessarily brackets, but cutouts. And these are going to actually not be like super big cutouts. So we're going to start these at... Actually, they're only going in like 1.5 inches, so they're not super big. Wait, start at 1 inch? They start at 1 inch. So we'll start them at... So they'll run from 1 inch to 1.25 inches, so it's going to be a 1/4 inch gap. That's then going to run into... Let's see, it's going to run into our workpiece by 1.25 inches, which is there. So once I have my general shape, I come in with the speed square. Put it on. Put it on. There's my 1/4-inch gap. Grizzly has definitely stepped up in the last decade or two for metalworking. Big names for manual machines are like Bridgeport, Hartbridge, Jet, Mori, Senki, and Monarch. Ah! So metalworking is definitely very much outside what I traditionally know. Now, granted, I can't even really call myself much of a wood guy because I'm still very much new to the wood game. Now, granted, my wood game is gonna... my wood game's supposed to be my main game. One of the reasons why I'm interested in blacksmithing is I really like the idea of like making my own woodworking tools. I'm coming in a 1/4 inch, right? Yeah. Wait, 1/4-inch gap? Yeah, okay. 1/4-inch gap, but going in 1.25 inches. Yeah. So, that's my stop line for how far I want this to go in. I'll just bring that in. Might want to just... I think I need to bring that line in a little bit. Cool. You got a table saw that you use and don't cut your fingers off yet? I think you can call yourself a wood guy. I mean, I'm still new. Well, how long have I had you? 2 years? 2 years? 2 years? I mean, I just don't work with wood a whole lot. Okay, yeah, if I stay within my lines, I'm good there. If I stay within my lines there, I'm good. Sweet. Also, that's another fun thing you can use with various... Well, actually, I was showing that off with the Fostner bit, was using your tools as gauges. Using your tools as gauges. So, I gotta cut some grooves, and I gotta figure out the best way to support my materials. Please stay supported. Thank you. Cool, and then, let's see. Can we come out? Yeah, there we go. Can I support more of my material that way? Actually, I don't need that much material supported that way. And then I can probably get a clamp on the far end. We should be good to do some saw cutting. Just need to grab one of those clamps, man. I use end mills as gauges pretty regularly, normally sized tools. Yeah. Oh man, that's just... That's one of the fun things when you're like new / getting into this type of stuff, is like understanding the difference between normally sized and nominally sized. And being able to know which time to use which specific gauge. Well, which specific measurement, because otherwise you're gonna be working and then wondering why it's not working out the way you intend. Okay. So let's do a little bit more. Yeah, there we go. So let's get our, because I'm just gonna cut the grooves. Oh, that's what I get for having one side supported. Yeah, that's what I get for having one side supported. It wants to drift. It wants to drift, and it wants to drift badly. And that wanted to drift badly. And there's a fix for that. Called another clamp. Clamp number 2. which I set as I'm going to also just be probably switching these guys out. Okay, I knew I had a hammer around here. I knew I had a hammer. I believe in the idea of hammers. Are you not supported? You're probably not supported. Okay, lessons for another time. There we go, and let me take a bit more. There we go, bit more. Wait, is that a busted chip, or can we chip that out a bit better? And I think I can shave that up. And the lesson here is, don't have as much free air as Sugi has right now, because this piece is floating out in the air. And because of that, my workpiece likes to vibrate, which is technically an undesirable outcome, but yeah. Sweet. So if I need to cut that back a little bit, that's easy. No big deal. And time to realize I marked both sides. And technically to do what I want. That's awkward. Oh boy. You know what? Perhaps not ideal, but will work. Clamp 1. Clamp 2. Held. Got jet for a bit, but I'll probably stop back by before end stream. Okay. Well, if I don't see you, have a good rest of your day, Captain Cocoa Puffs. Okay, so we'll bring this to here, our little focus area, because when I was marking these bad boys out, I marked the same side. I should have marked opposite sides, but I'm not that particularly intelligent, so, well, I'm somewhat intelligent. I'm just not like I don't have a lot of intelligence, you know? Oh. Stop. Moving. Workbench, please. One cut. Next stall. Second cut. Now. Ooh, yeah. So I'm going to use this piece of scrap. Kind of wedge it up in there. Now, that it's not moving as much as it was doing so before, so. There we go. That's what we're talking about. Oh. That looks like grooves. That looks like a groove. We got ourselves a groove. May not be the Emperor's new groove, but it's a groove. Oh, man. The joy of puns. The joy of puns. Oh, man, that looks really good. We're gonna just check. Yeah, there we go. So that's one of these two pieces done. Now we grab the next piece, which involves me coming over here to undo clamps. Release! Gotcha! Then bring you over here, feller. There we go. A little bit out. And get some of that good old clamp pressure on. Help hold it, because boy, oh boy, I sure need all the holding pressure I can get here, because so second verse same as the first. Oh, this is a terrible angle to cut it at. So that's my depth. Followed by my upper line and my bottom line. So with those done, bring our speed square in. That's marked. Now this is going to be, this might be awkward, but let's see if we can do this. Hot dog. I think that worked out. I was not anticipating that. Worked out better than I thought. Oh my goodness. There we go. Groove, cutto. Time to bring it around. Honestly, I'm gonna do that just the same as I did that first groove, because that actually worked out really well. So undo clamp 1, undo clamp 2. I think. Oh, don't drop it. Don't drop it. There we go. Clamp 1. Let's get clamp 2. Clamp 2's on. Piece is secured. Very important. Okay. Tape measure. Oh wow, I only gotta do one more of these? Actually, let's do our depth. So I want 1.25 inches on my depth. And then for how far here, there. And then we'll just bring that line there, connect all 3 lines. Speed square. Whoa. There we go. Let's cut a groove. One. Twofers. Groove for twofers. That is made very big. That's how I know. I made it too big. Ooh. That's how you ruin chisels, man. Dropping them on the floor. Okay. So we're going to try and be a little bit next level here. That was not a smart thing to do. Well, that reasonably worked out. Ooh. Yeah, I did. Yep, I dropped that chisel. That chisel's going to need sharpening. You can go down there. So, that is first set of work pieces. So, I'm going to undo my clamps. Set them to the side. Take my work piece. Set it to the side. Because now we are getting into the real fun stuff. And the real fun stuff is going to be here. So, let's bring our focus back to where the real danger lies, or the real fun is to be had. And that is going to be here at table saw. So, I'm going to be installing a dado stack for the first time. And probably mistakenly doing this live, but hey, we'll see how it turns out. So, I'm going to raise this all the way up, and I'm sure I don't have to say this, but I'm going to say this. Don't have your saw plugged in. This is not a time to have your saw plugged in. So, now, I will say this. I've somehow lost the wrench that my saw came with. And it's weird because it's like I was 99.9% sure it was in spot X and it was not in spot X. So I don't know if I have a really bad case of shop dad or shop uncle in my case, but I know that tool's around here somewhere, but I found that out like 15 minutes before streaming, and it's like, okay, well, the 5/16 wrench is my best option. So, actually, wait, does this come with a, no, I don't think this comes with a blade break. I'm not sure if it comes with a blade break. So I've actually not done anything with the blade since I bought this thing. Since I bought it and originally set it up, which... damn it. I should refer to instructions. That's where we're at. That's the safe thing. I can at least abdicate for that level of safety. When in doubt, reference your instructions. Which I have. I actually have my manual. So, because I don't know what how you spinny the blade. Where it is to its maximum height. Yep. Move the increment by turning salt arbor counterclockwise, figure C, and this operation involves 2 wrenches. How do you get 2 wrenches on this? Oh, that's exciting. Okay. So to do it counterclockwise means I have to pull this nut towards me. So use that as a bracer. And that might have done it. That did it. Now I just gotta not drop the magic thing. And that means this is gonna get real fun when I put everything back together. Yeah. Wait a second. Spinning freely with the shaft. Wait. That did not spin on. That did not spin on. Great. This was less than ideal. I probably should not have just decided to YOLO this. Because as far as I can actually... I got an idea. When in doubt, reference something else. Okay. So, my reference blade here, the Diablo, which I want to put in this thing eventually, which this might... Granted, the thing is the standard blade has just been good enough for the work I've been asking of it. But that's just a round circle. My question is why you're released, so you should be pretty free spinning. So option next is grab my spindle nut. I don't want to... That's the problem. I don't want to flex the blade. Damn, this was supposed to be about installing a toollet. That's just on there. Do I have to find that wrench? Because there's the problem with my box end wrench is the depth. This thing is way too thick. I need the actual... Looks like I'm at the point where I need the actual tools this thing comes with, which I don't get, because I should be able to just take that nut off, and this blade should just be able to come out. But I have had that in there, and I had it reasonably torqued, so it might be... Ooh, yeah. Wait, is that there? Yes, that's there. Oh, yeah. You know what? This is the answer to a good section of your garage problems. This right here is a good answer to half your garage problems. And that is good old Kroll. Good old Kroll penetrating lubricant. So, just put a nice little bead on that side. Spin the blade. Make sure it gets all the way around on that side. Then we're going to come over to the other side. And then we're going to give it a nice little dab of that Kroll. Then we'll just let that soak in. And that should help loosen whatever forces that are holding this, because these, as far as I'm aware of, this is a compression fit. So undoing one side of my compression fit should be enough to undo this. Which the problem is I really don't want to warp the blade. Now, actually, this is also a blade I don't care about, which is another side of the story. It's a blade I don't care about. But I've already shown you guys I have a replacement blade for this guy. So I'm just gonna lightly press, and emphasis on lightly because I don't want to warp this thing. Or damage the saw. Probably being an idiot, but that's fine. I'm a VTuber. People were supposed to make fun of me. It's part of the course, man. Okay. Gave it a bunch of flexing, and wow, that is just... Is that ring recessed? Is this a recessed ring? Wow. Well, however they built this, they built this in a way to make sure I can't take it off later. That they did. Okay, well, time to search places where I think I store mysterious tools, which that's the one that I am 99.9% certain is for the router. Because this is the magic. I'm pretty sure that one's the one for my router. And I had it stored in the spot for the router. There's yeah, there's no way. No way. So the search continues. The search continues. Because I tore apart this whole... Because I have a bin where that manual came from. And that was the area where I was 99.9% certain. Actually, wait a second. That could be also another thing. I also have a whole bunch of shop rags. And it could just be hanging out in the shop rags. I didn't actually go through the shop rags. So that might be a solution that did not materialize. Great. Damn. Pretty much knew that was there, though. Where would I have put those tools? Where would I have put them? Because I'm clearly at the point where I need those tools. No, I don't think you would be in that spot. Man. So this is the joy of when you have a garage and you interact with stuff and a lot of stuff, and then you've interacted with the thing, and the last time you interacted with that thing was 2 years ago, and who knows how many beers ago. Man. Okay. So we are now at the point where I do what any other garage dwelling individual does when they can't easily think their way through a problem. Go to the internet. To remove blade from Billbolt table saw. Unlock, remove throat plate. By pushing away from the, and finally remove the washer and old blade, making sure the new teeth faced correct. Aha! You said use the provided tools, and I've lost the provided tools. That's the issue. I literally do not know what I've done with those tools. Now, granted, they could probably be made on the stand, but I don't think I would have done that because they're small. And with the amount of sawdust this thing generates and scatters around everything, I would not put them there because it would be too easily buried. So, the way things are looking like, I have a shop to tear apart. Because apparently I need that tool to undo the back half of that. Because all I have are standard auto wrenches like this. I have standard auto wrenches. I also have crescent wrenches, but the crescent wrenches are even, the crescent wrenches are even fatter. Wait. Ooh, I got a hint. Really? Doesn't look like there's a spot. It says there's a place to store wrenches on the side of this thing, which I could see that. I mean, I definitely like using the built-in storage with some tools. But I was pretty sure I set those wrenches over where I had the manual, which is why I'm very deeply confused. It's not... Yeah, because I see a spot on where the power cord goes. There's a raised nub where the ends of the... So turn counterclockwise, remove components, unscrew the nut, and washer. Okay. Well, I'm at an impasse. Because what I don't... Well... That's the thing, it's secured on two sides. This side's taken care of. This side hasn't been taken care of. So... I don't think that screwdriver trick isn't going to work. Damn! There is an idea, but it's sketch. I have an idea, but it's sketch. And I don't generally believe in sketch ideas because I don't believe in getting hurt. I really don't believe in getting hurt. It's never worth getting hurt. Let's see, I keep a couple of often used wrenches up here, but it's not in those. It's not in that set. This is on my wall of magic quick grab tools. It's not on my wall of magic quick grabs. So, I've officially lost those. For now. Yeah, I have officially lost those for now. So, things I am going to do to make sure nothing bad happens later is reinstall this nut. Because when you take stuff like this apart, it's very easy for you. Now, granted, thankfully I work in a shop by myself. Like, there's no one else coming in. But it's very important in times like these that you make sure, because I don't want to leave this partially disassembled. Someone tries to use this and this blade gets loose. That's very bad. Which I can't fully resist the blade force. There's reasons. But that's not perfectly ideal. But I will do something with the throat plate. With the aim of doing something with the throat plate to be a sign, hey, this is not usable in its current condition. Which, funny enough, when I was originally planning to do this, I actually forgot to get a dado throat plate. And then I realized I needed one of these to install the dado, but I also need wrenches that I don't have access to install the dado. So, next game plan is to go through my directions, because my next step for the tool cart is to do rabbets on the side panels, and then I gotta do 2 rabbets for the edges of the base, and then I build that up from there. So I'm officially stuck there, and then all this starts getting built together. So if I want, I can install my bottom support boards that the casters are going to go onto the bottom piece. I can technically do that. It's just I'll also have those pieces on there when I eventually go to do the rabbits after I finish finding pieces I'm missing. Ugh. Because cutting those rabbits is actually very important. 2 top pieces, holes. I could drill. So I could do some hole drilling. Oh wow, they get 1-inch holes? Oh no, wait. Oh no, the holes are 1/4. They're 1/4 holes. And then there's also the tabletop supports that I could do. So I gotta make 2 of those and then build that and assemble. Wait, do I gotta do anything to the top of the tabletop? Got 2 pieces. Got 2 top. Oh yeah, because I gotta do 2 top pieces because we're building a whole like frame for all that. What do I want to do? Because I could move to that stage, which is technically the most sustainable thing to do. Huh. Man, I'm going to be kicking myself. I'm going to ruin myself on finding those darn tools, because those are actually very important tools for this tool. Now, granted, I mean, I have the manual, so ordering new parts is going to be easy. Granted, I actually wish. Now, granted, I feel like I should. 21. Yep. Blade wrenches, stored position, non-through sawing. Well, I guess that once again proves to show the tool had a built-in storage solution, and I did not maintain that, and I have since lost those products, which should be a component list here with part numbers, which I want a component list with part numbers because I'll make ordering the, because I do want to, because then that makes it easy for me to order new ones, which, because it does tell me the part and the name, but it doesn't actually give me like the DeWalt company's part number, which when you're wanting to order stuff like this is like the most. I feel like I've seen those recently. Laying around. I just don't know where. I mean, granted, this isn't necessarily the first time a stream sputtered out like this. I mean, hell's bells. The first time I tried to do this, I got too inebriated to the point to safely operate a table saw. And I do like the fact that they give you all these. Oh man, they even show you free plans for making push blocks and feather sticks. That's cool. Pairs, throat plate stick. Scissor. I mean, I'm sure I can just Google it and figure it out from there. That's no big deal. Problem is, the number one thing I want to do right now is tear my shop apart in search of those two magic black wrenches. Ah, Jiminy crickets. Because I know they're in here somewhere. Because I had to use them to put that thing together, but it's just... They're also wrenches I have not touched in 2 years. And honestly, the most guaranteed way to lose anything in your shop is don't touch it for 2 years. That is how you lose things in your shop. You don't touch it for like 2 or 3 years, and then it's like, man. It seemed like a spare part for something, but I don't think that's necessarily what I'm looking for. As much as I wish for my parts to magically appear, I'm probably pretty foobarred. Well, table salt time is definitely done. Now I'm just not sure what I want to do with the rest of the stream. Because now I can't technically say I'm using the tool that scares me. Because I can't even install the tool. Now, granted, my sketch idea from earlier was to just go ahead and use this blade and then just build my dado stack out, but that still doesn't give me a good way of holding the other end of my arbor, so it's... Really don't plan on getting hurt today. Or any day, but especially today, because today is like the day before my birthday, so nothing says bad birthday like being like a hurt dog. So, in the interest of keeping things moving along somewhat, we're gonna get into some hole drilling. Because I think we'll probably try to make this top piece for this project, and that might be it. Let's see. 23 by 24, which I think you're my... Are you my 23 by 24? Because that's my 23rd dimension. Are you 24 in the other? Yes, indeed you are. Okay. So, this is going to be one of two top pieces. This gets holes. This is going to get 4 holes each corner. So, that is basically where we're going to work on this part of the project, because I lost wrenches. Because I'm not a smart guy. So it's going to be 1 hole marked on that side. Go to the other side. Mark a hole. Well, mark 1 inch. And then when my... Well, where those cross is where I want the center of my hole to be, so. So, hopefully we can still squeeze out a roughly 2-hour-ish stream. Sorry I can't live up to the hype, but unfortunately, I try not to hype myself up, and there's reasons for that. It's generally related to reasons why we're doing what we're doing right now. Is something happens, and it's like, well, to put it in the words of a certain Mythbusters, that's a load of bumpkus. So, but the best thing you can do for yourself as an individual who spends a lot of time in shops is don't let setbacks get you feeling frustrated. Don't ever let setbacks get you feeling frustrated. Because when you let setbacks frustrate you, one, it makes doing whatever work you want to do a little bit harder, but also more importantly, you tend to lose sight of what you wish to accomplish and how to safely do so. Getting frustrated and worked up over a project is the last thing any shop-dwelling individual should do under any circumstances. Because that's really when you do stuff you almost end up regretting. Like, in my experience, I've definitely thrown my fair share of tools around the shop. And then it's just like, say, buddy, calm down. Take a chill pill. It's not worth it. It's truly not worth it. Like, that's just how it goes. Oh yeah, good evening, Dad's Little Shop. Hope you're having a good holiday season. Hope you're ramping up the end of the years going. I gotta say, mine's actually been going pretty good up until about 20 minutes ago. Maybe even longer. Oy, oy. But it is what it is. That's fine. Because we can just, honestly, just move on to a different stage of the project. Okay. Ooh, that's exciting. There we go. Jeepers creepers. The corded drill has so much power. The corded drill has such a ridiculous amount of power. I wish to spin that. I should not be spinning that while I have that on there. Sure, we'll do next corner. Wow, wait. Corded drill packs punch. Corded drill packs so much punch. Good day here, doing pretty well. Ooh, excited for new volleyball equipment and some other stuff in the new year. Nice. Very nice. Actually, wait a second. Do I have that reasonably accessible? Yeah, because I actually... Oh, wait, did I? I did do that. I did do... Oh. Oh, wait, actually, well... Yeah, I could go to it that way. Yeah, there we go. Sure, we can do something about that. But yeah, I'm finally moving up in the woodworking world, and I have purchased a drill press. I'm still waiting on the drill press because I ordered it online. But save image as... Sure, save it there. But I do wish to showcase this. And downloads. Did not... Oh no, because it went to pictures. That's where it went. It's in pictures. Oh, there you are. There we are. Hello, friend. You're so big. But yeah, here is my new. Woo! It's the Grizzlies T31739 drill press. So I'm finally moving up in the drill press world. Well, by moving up in the drill press world, actually having one. So this is. Oh man, sir. Oh man, I need to show you that. That's because I got that there. But I also have another thing because this is also really funny. So, man, that looks like a good one. It has a nice balance of features I want, and also stuff that I think is desirable because you can do electronic speed control is one of the functions. It doesn't get into super low RPMs, which is what I'm going to need to be drilling into this bad stuff. So this is just a little bit of the material, but I picked up some 2-inch angle iron today, plus all the other materials for the forge project. But this was funny. This was real funny to me. Oh my gosh. So I needed a 1 foot by 2 foot section of this diamond plate. The purpose of this diamond plate, this is going to be a top surface. Oh man, we have ourselves a true blacksmith here. Not a fake person like me. Well, I'm still fake because I haven't even done any blacksmithing. But we're getting there. We've got materials for a forge now. So, as you can clearly tell, well, we're a foot across. Now, I needed 2 feet of this material. Does anyone want to take a guess at how much material I have? Okay. 1, 2, 3. I have 42.5 inches of material, which I think is like the funniest dyslexic thing that has happened to me somewhat recently. Is someone was supposed to cut me 12 inches by 24 inches. Instead, I got 12 inches by 42 inches, which technically I'm getting free metal out of it. So, but yeah, this was real funny. This was a real funny thing. But in addition to that material, you're the long one. I want the short one. So I got myself a little bit of good old-fashioned 3/8 bar stock. So this is definitely going to probably be the material I'll be working with for my first couple of blacksmithing projects. And I've got 2 pieces that are reasonably long like this, so got some good starting material in that. And then for when I get ambitious, I have this. Well, I actually have 2 of these bad boys. Now, my game plan for this bad boy, and this is probably a little bit too much bad boy for the project I have planned. This is going to be... I eventually wish to make my own fro. Flat bar and flat stock are the easiest to start with. Yeah, I mean, I'll probably actually get into round stock because I do want to try making my own chain. Just because making chain seems to be very approachable and somewhat straightforward. I started with round stock, and that was too much work. Well, that's good to know. But the thing is, this is 2-inch by half-inch flat stock that I want to turn this into a fro at some point. Which, this is probably a little bit too much material for a fro. I'm probably going to have to cut off a section. And then, honestly, what I'm probably going to have to do is maybe go as far as cut it in half and draw the material out to actually have an actual, like, fro. Because, like, shucks, this is... just this bar is, like, half. Like, this is way too much heft for a wood splitting implement. And I think that's way too much metal for something like a fro. But that is, I do think that's one of the reasons why I want to, you're going to weld it shut or you're going to try to learn forge welding. I am going to try to learn forge welding because I don't have a welder and I don't have room for a welder. So I'm constrained by the size of my shop. I'm at a point where it's like, okay, well, guess what, buddy? You get to learn forge welding. Which is funny enough, because in the blacksmithing book I was reading here recently, the art of making a loop in a piece of metal and then welding itself specifically for a handle hold is called a fro weld. So it's like, okay, well, I want to make these, and one of the first things this book's like when it comes to doing forge welding is like, learn to do a fro weld. So that's on the game plan. Well, the game plan of things to learn eventually. But yeah, that's all like future stuff. There's no time left in this year, man. There's absolutely no time left in this year. Yeah, and also, having the garage garden in here has actually taken up more space than I anticipated, but I may or may not be getting a free garden shed. So, if I get a garden shed, I will be able to move a lot of material out of here. I forge welded a little bit, but I'm still on the tongs tools part of blacksmithing. Yeah, that's where I plan to start out. One of the big reasons I want to try making chain is I feel like making chain is like early tier forge welding, and then I can actually graduate to a forge weld, or I can just do this the way I traditionally do things. Jump in and get way in over my head and just learn the hard way. Well, learn the just way people sometimes learn things, and there's an easier step-by-step process, or you could just jump into the deep end, buddy. And I have a bad habit of jumping into the deep end. Jeepers, that quarter drill always catches me off guard with the power it has. And you're 25, you're my 25, you're my other 24, you should be. But yeah, so Sugi's blacksmith arc starts next year. I mean, you do you, but the chain idea sounds good. I like the idea of making chain. Especially like making like a couple short sections and then putting all that together. Like, that seems like a reasonably straightforward project that... Ooh, wait a second. You seem slightly... Your hair... You're a bit bigger than I'm anticipating. Wait a sec. You're supposed to be the same size. Oh, wait a second. That might be how you're... Because all my sides are supposed to be equal. Ah, that's the ticket. That's the ticket. They are slightly square. They're not perfect cubes. They're not perfect cubes. They're imperfect cubes. Yeah, it's a lot of skills you put together. Yeah. I mean, that's just generally how things go with me, is I am, unfortunately, a very serial skill picker-upper. I have a serially... Actually, that's a better marker. I have a serially bad habit of wanting to pick up a bunch of skills. Absolutely atrocious habit to have. Don't let skill picking up be your hobby. Says me. Now, granted, being a serial skill picker up definitely makes your life a little bit more interesting, a little bit more fun. Now, I'm using my top board here as a template for these drill holes, so that just saves me the whole process of having to mark out a whole new set of holes. What? No, do the opposite. Learn a lot. Wait, learn a lot, then... Wait, learn a lot and then do? I don't know. I'd rather just do. Nothing says a good life lesson learned like getting hurt with a power tool, you know? And there we go. So... that is my top panels cut out. Well, drilled out. Ooh. These are going to be fun. Now next, since we're still technically playing with you, we're going to have you hang out over there. And now we get to play with other things. Oh, wait. What's my length on these pieces? 24. 24. I want my 24. I want my 24 inchers. Which are, I believe, well, that's stuff to be picked up off the floor. I did that like a week ago. Don't recommend. Oh, come on. Just throw yourself into the deep end. Just throw yourself into the deep end and have fun. Let's see. Half inch? What are those holes used for? Okay. So, got some of my white wood here. Block. Pencil. So we're gonna have our center start like half an inch. Oh, no. Okay. Now we're going down a full inch. I was like, half inch didn't seem like enough. We're going down a full inch. And then we're gonna be centered 1 inch within the board. Really? Oh, yeah. Okay, I get it. Yep. That makes sense. So, we're going to be 1 inch down from... We're going to be 1 inch down from this side, and then we're going to be 1 inch over this way, which is basically how we did the holes on that thingamajig. That other thingamajig. So, what I'm wanting to do here is I'm wishing to home run these drill holes. And by home run, I mean only mark my holes twice, and then cut a whole bunch of my holes all at once is the game plan. Now I gotta bring this over because... Oh wait, no, because my inch out is happening towards me. Yeah, towards me. Yep. Jeepers creepers. Also, the stream's gonna end as soon as my bladder decides to be like, I've had enough. That's gonna be the thing that determines stream end. But yeah, we're not playing with the Dado blade stack Dad's old shop because I lost my wrenches for this. I don't know where they are. And I'm not playing with... I'm not playing with my Dado stack. Well, I'm not playing with this without having the appropriate wrenches to secure everything. That's an asking to get hurt like none other. Okay. Oh, I like that. Sweet. Okay. Cool. Now. Yeah. Well, the thing is, well, last time I touched those wrenches were like 2 years ago. It was like 2 years ago the last time I touched those wrenches. And I was 99% sure I left those wrenches where I was keeping my manual at. And then I went to look for the wrenches where my manual was at, and I found my manual for my DeWalt table saw, but I didn't find the wrenches. And it's like, yeah, that's me. Yep, that's a me play right there. I was fairly certain I knew where a thing was, but I also had not touched that thing in years. I'm cleaning up the shop and finding all sorts of stuff. See, that's one of my issues, is I'm generally organized enough to generally know where most of my stuff is most of the time. Wait. Ooh, wait. These are half-inch holes. Ooh, half-inch holes. I can use the Makita. I actually don't have to bother with the corded drill. Makita! Wait, are you my bits? Bits! Thanks for your service. Corded drill. What did the guard do? Well, thanks for stopping by, Mr. Spock. And the safe thing to do is just not mess with things that you don't have the appropriate tools for, and I don't have appropriate tools to set a Dado stack in my table saw. So I'm gonna be a safe Sugi, and I'm also gonna keep the use of these things. I like these things. I can do a lot of stuff with these things. I can make things. Also, these things are responsible for getting beer into my body, so like, heaven forbid I lose that functionality. That's how you end up with a critical case of sad life syndrome. Okay. Half-inch hole. Order up. Did I go through? Holy smokes, I went through. I have to switch the beer helmet. I don't want to switch the beer helmet. I don't want to be a beer helmet guy. Holy smokes, I went really deep on my scrap there. That could have been bad. Because if I went all the way through, I could have... Gasp! Scratched my tabletop! For my table saw. That would have been bad. That would have been reasonably bad. Okay. We got my pieces lined up on each other. Get my drill centered. Do the poke hole test. Nice, right on it. Go. Oh, almost through. And And the fresh smell of pine confirms I'm through. like sapwood pine. Because this smells more piney than this does. Wait, does it? It smells appropriately piney. It's appropriate. It smells like pine. Yeah, I love a good scrap piece. Good scrap piece does so much work. Now, granted, now we get to do something fun. Now we get to, well, ugh. Damn it. I would personally prefer to do that. Because basically what I gotta do now for these pieces, Jeepers Creepers, is I gotta make a 1/4 inch groove 2 inches down on these bad boys. The issue is with that, I could do so with this piece of technology that I have since loosened a nut on, and I'm not going to be playing with that piece of technology until I get the appropriate tools. Actually, let's... because I need to have grooves cut into that to mount all that, and then I can build that out. So... Jeepers Creepers. Okay. I gotta throw the BRB screen on and use the little homesteader's room, because I have reached critical. Okay, I'm back from criticality. And I'm now having to think about and plot out my next step here, because, well, this is certainly going to be fun. Because there's a lot of things I want to... because I don't want to hand... I don't like the idea of hand tool cutting the grooves I need to make on these guys, because that's going to be a lot of work. Well, it's just, this is like really, really, like this is white pine. This is very soft pine, very soft material. And I would rather just blow through it with this tool that I have disabled myself out of. I could... if I drill and cut, that's one option, but I don't entirely like that option. Or I could try cutting rabbits. Because that's where... and get back to where I originally was on the project, because... which I can. I understand how watching a Don't Judge Make Your project. Well, it's just like... if it was maybe a shallow groove, I wouldn't mind. But I know how I tend to be with my pull saw, and I have really bad drift when I make cuts, and I don't like making cuts when I don't have like a lot of supporting material, because I have to make a 1/4 inch cut in 3/4 of material, and then leave a 1/4 inch on either side. That's a lot of paying attention, a lot of not screwing up, versus I set my fence to within a 1/4 inch of my blade, and then I just run the piece through, back it off, a blade's width, run the piece through again, and then bada bang, bada boom. I have my notch. And I've got to make 4 of these notches because I need 1 on each end of these boards, and that's I like hand tooling, but I like hand tooling when it makes sense, because I actually did do that's a plan not written with hand tools in mind. But I mean, so earlier today, what I first did is I did make these notches. Because I made 4, because I have 2 of these panels. So this is actually going to be the center. Not enough dovetails. Dazzled Shop. I've never cut a dovetail. Never. Not once. No dovetails. I have 0 experience with dovetails. But there are some people on this website that will say I'm not a real woodworker unless I've made dovetails. But judge me for my arcane mix of hand and power tools, but I will forever stand by my opinion that the best tool to get the job done is the best tool for the job. Like, that is the case at all times. That is official Sugi policy. There are times when the pull saw, chisels, those are great tools for doing the work you need to do. I need to batch out cuts on this. Bro, cut some dovetails. They don't need to make pull sellers good. I made some dookie dovetails that work just fine. Oh, man. Oh, my goodness. I'm getting judged so harshly now. I mean, not this project, of course. I mean, I want to do it as a try. I definitely want to try dovetails. One of the side things was this was supposed to be my introduction to... That was a violent sound. It was supposed to be my introduction to this wonderful piece of technology called the Dado Stack Set. And one of the things I wish to do with the Dado Stack Set is I actually want to do some box joint work at some point. I would actually love to do some box joints for a project. Today was supposed to be my introduction to this, and I completely foobarred that by not knowing where 2 pieces of black metal are. Which I now look back at the rest of the half of my shop, and I'm hoping that those tools will just like magically pop out of somewhere, and that's not how tools work. So yeah, this project would have to be like redone to include. They're not as hard as they seem. Yeah, like I would like to get into doing some box joint work at some point. I'm not entirely sure, because what I think this is ultimately going to come down to is after this stream, I go online and I basically immediately order a set of wrenches for this, because that's honestly going to be the quick solution. Granted, I might check and see. I don't know if Lowe's would have the wrenches in stock. I don't think they would. I really don't think they would. Granted, once I get a set of wrenches, I'm actually going to park them where they should go, and that's on this side of the table saw. So that way it's like, okay, they're there. Or who knows, maybe actually keep them where I keep them manual, and hopefully wrench gnomes won't take them. Which I still swear up and down, that is where I put them. Actually. There's no way it's behind the blade guard. There's no way they're behind the blade guard. There's a blade guard to see through. There's a little groove there. Yeah. Yep. That is a Texas 10. That's a Texas 10. Texas size 10 for good, buddy. They're not there. But yeah. I do want to do box joints, and I actually have some material for that. But I am. So I guess technically finishing this project is going to be the quote-unquote first project of 2026, sort of. But the first project I'm going to start in 2026 is I've been looking at an area in my living room, and I basically have like this nook area as a table in it. And on this table, I keep all my board games. And having this table just full of board games is just a little too much board games for this table. Like, the table's just, like, covered. And I'm thinking, I've got a better idea for the space. And that is to make a wooden shelf that goes from basically one short wall of the nook to the other short wall of the nook, which I think the span's about 5. I measured it, I think it's like 5.5 feet. I want to take that 5.5 feet of space, build a shelf there, but I will be building, I intend to build that shelf with my remaining unmilled sassafras lumber. So that is going to be, now I still have to, I gotta put an asterisk, and I also need to remind myself of lessons that I have had to learn terribly today. And that is, I have to check and make sure I can get my hand plane set up and dialed in enough to actually, because I've done edge work with my hand planes, and I feel comfortable doing that, but I have to also face plane these boards. So I'm gonna have to hand tool mill lumber. That is going to be the first project I start in 2026. So that's going to eventually be a thing. So there will be, oh wait, actually, also to kind of like whet your appetite for hand tool action, that tool shop, I had my friend buy me some wood auger drill bit set. So this is going to give me a lot more capability with my bit brace, because my bit brace right now has like a really old, like 3/4 drill bit shank in it. So this is going to allow me to get a lot more mileage out of that bit brace, which is going to be nice. It's going to be real nice, but that's going to be a later thing, not a today thing. Yeah, today kind of just, well, I don't know. I'm not sure how much people want to just hear me go around my shop and just look for tools that I may or may not, a set of tools I may or may not find. But I do also know they are tools. Should I find one, I know I'll find the other. But I still very much think that the quick solution is to just order another set. Is unfortunately what all this comes down to. So, but yeah, I think that's kind of enough yammering and all those things. So sorry I couldn't fully deliver on what I wanted to promise today, but you know, life happens. Stuff goes missing, especially if you haven't touched it in like 2 years, which I don't think it's been 2 years since I've touched them. I want to say the last time I touched them was when I actually made this tabletop for the table saw. Well, this table. It's not just a tabletop. Most of the tabletop is table saw. But yeah. So I think with all that, we are at a ending point for today. So I want to thank you very much for tuning in and putting up with my lack of preparedness today. But we still made plenty of good sawdust today, though. We made plenty of good sawdust and made progress. Not as much as I would have liked. Because we actually started getting some stuff done. We could have actually started building this together, started bringing the project together. But we're close, but not quite on that. So, but I will also say my next stream will be tomorrow. That's going to be over the campfire. Definitely going to be a lot more in my wheelhouse. And I'll be making beer cheese. I will also have some snacks. And it's going to also be my B-Day stream because I'm going to be turning another year older. And I'm going to chill and relax and bring in the new year appropriately. And also, I will be doing my 2025 garden year review. I have one of the things I've actually set myself up for success on is I've actually got all the photos off my phone and got them onto this computer. So I can at least be a bit better with my preparations on that. So all that is to say, thank you very much to everyone that's tuned in today. And I would like to wish all of you, may you have a great rest of your day, night, evening, whatever it is, wherever you're at. And hopefully I'll see you all in the next one. Okay, bye-bye.